Hey guys, welcome to New Zealand's biggest gap year. It was a challenge that Laura and I tackled 2 years ago, in which we had to tackle 365 activities all around New Zealand in 365 days. This is day 66, in which we are exploring Palmerston North. We're going to do some biking around the town, we're going to check out the Rugby Museum, we're going to check out the night market, and we're going to check out the food truck market. There is a ton to do, so let's not wait anymore and dive right into it. At the end of the video, you'll find me again talking to you right here, right now, and I'm gonna go over all the comments that we received the first time we published the video. Alright, let's get started. See you then. Bye bye.
So here's the plan that I've made. In the morning we are going to go pick up some bike and go do the Riverside Trail, which is a great bike trail to go alongside the Manawatu River, if I'm not wrong. Once we've done that, we're actually going to be biking a little bit around the city and spotting a few good spots. Drop back the bike and go to the New Zealand Rugby Museum. Once we're done with that, we are going to go to the Library Village Market, and then once we're done, we are going to feast in a truck food festival. So that is a busy day, so we better get on with it pretty quickly.
First up, Palmerston North is known to be actually a really good city to cycle around. Everywhere around the city, like all the attractions, there's bike stands, so you can just park up for free, just, you know, lock yourself in. You don't really need to, it's New Zealand, but it's always good to be safe. So this is the perfect city to bike around. It's pretty much all flat. There's no, you don't need to do any strenuous exercise to get around the city. It's ideal and people love biking around here. So that's why we are going to do a bike tour around Palmerston North. We go to the eyesight to pick up some rental bikes, and we have a choice of either a tandem bike or an electric bike. We've never done either of those. I've never rode a tandem and I've never been on an electric bike, but the electric bike sounds interesting.
Now, we had no idea how easy it is to bike when you have an electric bike. I have to say that this involves absolutely no effort. You just put it on like normal level, you just pedal a little bit, off you go, then the bike is doing everything for you. The only time you pedal is just to basically keep your balance. It's pretty impressive.
It's a long concrete pathway which is also used by dog walkers, and the dogs can be let off the leash, so we have a few dogs to avoid along the way, and people are running and cycling on it as well. So it's a well-used path, and I can see why. It's going right along the Manawatu River, as the name suggests, and going through some really nice like forested areas, then nice open fields, and we get to see a little bit of everything alongside Palmerston North, just a little bit outside the city, which is really cool. We're just cycling away, and the more we're going down this pathway, the more confident we're getting with the electric bikes and just turning it up to high speed and just doing shit all but going really fast. Yeah, we're having a good time.
We are literally biking between river, grass, trees, and with Laura we're having a bit of a blast because first the area is stunning. It looks autumn-ish at the moment, because winter is just never arriving in New Zealand. We're in the middle of winter right now and the weather is just stunning. So there is beautiful golden tree colors and all the floor is pathed of golden leaves, and it's just mind-blowing. And we're having a bit of a banter on the bike because it's just so easy to bike them. And we are making our way to the New Zealand Rugby Museum. This is where we're going to be parking the bikes, but turns out the museum is very close to the hostel.
We went back to the hostel to get a warmer jacket because we got frozen to death with the wind.
You don't do much exercise on electric bikes.
Obviously, New Zealand is a massive rugby nation. People here love rugby, and we're into it too. We're taking a look at all the displays. There's like old All Black jerseys showing you like the evolution of the All Blacks. There's also like an early rugby ball, which was a pig's bladder inflated. Yeah, there's like all sorts of like trinkets to see, like old souvenirs people first got for the All Blacks.
That's a hardcore rugby helmet.
At one point, there's even a PlayStation 2 with rugby video games.
You know you're old when you see old childhood video games in the museum. I think that's a toast of Richie Mako by the Toast Man.
Almost there.
Yes, there are some beautiful jerseys on display and some of the earliest All Blacks jerseys. Yes, there is some of the earliest rugby ball, which are actually just an inflated pig bladder. Yes, I know it's disgusting, but the main attraction of the New Zealand Rugby Museum is the massive field right in the middle of the museum, where there are a lot of training machines that even the All Blacks have been using to train themselves.
Welcome to the arena.
We go through the netting and we are going to do some challenges.
That's a miss.
I think I only get maybe about 3 kicks, 3 goals. The rest is pretty atrocious, and I have to say I'm really glad there is netting around this section of the museum, because all these displays would be in pieces right now. My kicking is a bit wild, I have to admit. As expected, Robin does better than me at that challenge. The next one is a scrum challenge. This is you press a button and you listen to the instructions and put as much force with your shoulders onto this machine as possible to obviously measure your force and how much you can push, as if you were doing a rugby scrum. A professional rugby player could do a force of over 400.
The tackle machine is basically 2 massive rubber sausage that you have to tackle down one after the other in less than 6.9 seconds. Sadly, my best score today is gonna be 7 seconds, which is absolutely frustrating, especially for someone as competitive as I am. So I'm giving it another shot and just jump onto this sausage and tackle it down, jumping back up, running around the field, jumping on the other sausage, tackling back up and making sure it stays down, standing back up and running back to press on that goddamn button, only to see that I have took 7 seconds to do it. This is infuriating, Rugby Museum. Lie to me and tell me that I beat your best score.
After we are in the museum, we get back outside, we go get our bikes, and we do one last little trip before we return our bikes to the eyesight. So our last little trip involves riding around the square, which is the very centre of Palmerston North, and it's a really cool garden park area of Palmerston North.
We are heading back to the hostel just to warm up a little bit and grab a nice cup of tea and wait for dusk. First up on our list is the Village Night Market, which is held the last Friday of every month at the library of Palmerston North.
During the day, this is a library, but tonight it is a night market.
So they just clear a room in the library, they set up loads of stalls, decorate it with fairy lights and bunting. It just looks like a really, really cool little market. There's all sorts of homemade goods, like homemade jam, homemade food, homemade clothes, jewellery.
So I thought I'd make it a bit more Mad Max.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about that?
You look like a buzzy bee.
But my tummy is rumbly, Laura's tummy is rumbly. It's time for us to get some food.
I haven't seen that many people since we were in Auckland.
I like the taco bunting.
Nice.
The food truck feast is basically people that own food trucks all gathering together from all across the world. There is Jamaican, there is Greek, there is Chinese, there is Thai, there is Indonesian, there is Indian, there is of every country in the world. It's pretty epic.
What's tempting you?
There's too much choice.
Basically, it's a must-go where everybody gets in and get a big bargain on something pretty yummy and pretty awesome.
Laura, are you hungry?
dive in.
We are spoiled for choice. We don't know which country to go for. I'm thinking we should really try something new.
This is the first time I'm going to be having Greek food.
I have like a veggie souvlaki. I write it in the blog post as well, but I can't remember what it's called. It is delicious.
Stand behind line, press start button. Sprint to the other end on go and check time. Windows. Oh, then sprint.
It's not on.
Alright guys, so as you can tell, we did pack a lot all in one day, and we did have a lot of comments and a lot of questions about this video, so let's go over them. I'm gonna go quite quickly because there is just a lot of them. Dolphins are equals say it's good to see that they still have the square edge. It was my favorite, so it was my favorite place, so that's awesome. Catherine says, whoa, the building and square look amazing. Very cool day you had. It would match any tourist day anywhere in the world. Go Palmy. So here you go, that's probably some locals which are kind of like bumping their own town. Ashna says, I'm so glad that people visit Palmerston North, because when people travel in New Zealand, usually Palmerston North isn't one of the most popular places, so thank you. You're very welcome, mate. I think that Palmerston North is actually a really cool town, and we do bring it up quite a lot on nzpocketguide.com, which is our website. It's actually the largest travel guide to New Zealand. It's all free to use, and yeah, if you are currently planning a trip to New Zealand, check it out. It's nzpocketguide.com. Terra Lightning says, what do you think about Wellington? We will go to Wellington a little bit later in this series, so we'll cover that then. Catherine says she lives in Palmerston North. Peter says, yeah, Peter Cleaver is making fun of what I did to Laura, so I say I got her to run and then I didn't tell her the machine wasn't on. The Ray Rosa, sorry, I messed up your name. He says, what's the nationality of the guy? I'm really curious with his accent. So I was born in France, and I worked and traveled in many places around the world, and now I live in New Zealand. So here you go. That's a bit of my backstory. Okay, that's pretty much it. That's all the comments that we got on that video. Now, if you are currently planning your trip to New Zealand, you can definitely hang out with us. Wait, what? Yes, every single Sunday at 8 AM New Zealand time, we are sitting down on that couch over there and we answer all your questions about traveling in New Zealand for about an hour. So join us then, it's really fun. You can find a link to time and date in your country down in the description of this video. And you can ask us your questions, we answer them, and it's kind of a great way to plan your trip. We love doing that. There is a ton of people that join every week. It's a super cool place to hang out and it's super positive, so here you go. And yeah, if you do find this video useful, make sure to like it, because it's a great way for you to say thank you for all our hard work and to tell YouTube that this video was useful as well. And also you can subscribe if you want to see more of us exploring New Zealand. It's quite fun as well. And check out nzpocketguide.com as well. It's pretty cool. Alright, see you during the next video, which is coming up really soon. We do videos all the time here. Bye bye.